Which team, by colors alone, is identifiable around the world?
The autumn wind is a Raider.
Which team, by slogan, commitment to excellence?
Pillaging just for fun.
Just win, baby.
He'll knock you round.
All those things
Then upside down
are the Raiders.
and laugh when he's conquered and won.
When you have great coaches, then after you have great coaches, you get great players. You have a great organization, and you tell them one thing: just win.
He's blowing up. Raiders!
Just win, baby.
Yo, what's good? Thanks for hopping on the BART, the Bay Area Raiders Talk. Brought to you by Business Decision Sports. It's your boy Black, the 7-1 Raider, and I'm in the building with my boy. You don't get to talk a lot, so he get to talk a lot now before the gang show up, for the up gang show up. What up with you, Bizzle?
What's going on? How you guys doing?
Good, man. We hopping on. We gonna talk about these Raiders. These Raiders. Man, so another L, another week, another L.
Not a surprise.
So the Raiders went to go pillage the Buccaneers, but then they ended up giving up the booty. Yeah, the Bucs jumped out to a 14-0 lead, and then the Raiders clamped down in the middle quarter, second and third quarter, only for the ship to sink in the fourth quarter, man. What was your thoughts about the game?
My thoughts were, we hung in there all right, except in the very first couple of possessions, we kind of gave up the booty. And, just basically, struggled to get back in it. Tried to make some plays, did what we could, and struggled to get back in it. And I think that, we just basically had to persevere and overcome some stuff. We did a pretty good job of that, but, we just don't have what it takes right now. We just don't have the personnel and I think the coaching to get what we need to have done.
Yeah, I feel you. I agree with you on that. What's up with the chat? What's up with it? What's up? Yeah, well, we men over here, so we ain't got no Diddy over here, but they got enough issues of their own. But I feel you though. No Diddy, pause, all the things that were above. But so man, they ended up they ended up walking AOC off the plank. Well, they actually pushed him off the plank. And he ended up getting carted off with a bruised knee. So I mean, we were in the game, but then it just all fell apart. And Raider Hotspot, what's your thoughts about our 28-13 demise last week?
Man, I think there's a lot of people who were assuming or thinking or hoping that AOC was going to be a savior for us, and that a lot of our offensive problems were just based on Getsy and Minshew. But I think it's pretty clear that there's some limitations to what he can and can't do. One of them is staying healthy. So that's a bit of an issue. Those were not good turnovers. So, I think the nation and myself, a lot of people needed to see exactly what we had there. And if he comes back to play again the rest of the year somehow, I think he has like a bone bruise, so he could possibly try to play. Then that's cool. But I think we're past the idea that he's a quarterback of the future for this team. And you can kind of move forward there.
Man, you know what? I wish it was some other Raider talking heads on here, because you guys are really echoing what I've been thinking and what I've been saying about AOC this whole time. I really think he's no more than Stidham 2.0. Like he's not the quarterback that was supposed to lead this team. And then what we keep saying is, well, let's see what we can get from him, man. Well, he started 4 games. We kicked 4 tires. We kicked out of them 4 tires, 2 of them busted. Then we want to throw a donut on one of them and then say, oh, you can go get a used tire down the shop at the shop down the block and throw him back on the road. And like, he's not that guy. He's a scraper at best. Like, I don't see what people are seeing. So that's why we're going to talk about, why do people love AOC so much? Antonio Pierce included. You can tell his body language and how he communicate with him versus Gardner. And you can tell AOC really is his hope. And to me, I think AOC saved his job with that Kansas City game, because had that game got ugly, I think Antonio Pierce wouldn't have survived the weekend, but I don't still think he will survive the year. What are y'all thoughts?
Historic losing streak. Like, this is one of the worst losing streaks in franchise history. So unless there's a deal I don't know about behind the scenes, then I don't see how he makes it.
Well, the way that I see him doing it, the way he's smiling, coming out onto his interviews and all of this press stuff, makes me seem like there's something going on behind the scenes, and that there has been something on behind the scenes since the beginning of the season. First brought Minshew in here. I think that whole thing was a dog and pony show, telling us that they were going to they're going to be a quarterback competition and all this other stuff. But that was all a lie. I think that was all a lie from the start. They brought Minshew in here. They're going to start him. There was never a doubt in my mind about any of that. And this was all a plan, straight up. They scuttled the ship. There's no doubt about it.
This just seems like a really haphazard plan.
They brought in one defensive tackle, which was Wilkins, which was a great sign, but we didn't do anything else. I mean, yeah, we did get the best quarterback on the market that was available, but that's, we need to stop doing that. We need to stop getting rejects and go and get our guy, because the rejects haven't worked since 1981.
Thank you.
Or 1980.
Free agency.
So is it that
rejects haven't happened since Jim Plunkett, bro? The reject, the quarterback, picking up the veteran quarterback is not working.
Is it that AOC is not noticeably better than Minshew? Because I'm thinking going into training camp, even if they're somewhat close, you got to start Minshew for the experience alone, right? And so if it's close, then that's who you got to go with. Now, if they decide to go with AOC first, and then go with a person who just came off a Pro Bowl season, no matter how you water it down, and was a starter in the NFL, then it kind of already sends a bad signal from the beginning. So I'm thinking it was more football related than maybe like some kind of setup, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, the offensive line dictated that. I think the whole preseason I kept saying that those two players are similar enough that what you're going to see is the fit for the offense and the play of the offensive line is really going to be what determines it, right? So offensive line was not ready. They've gotten better as the year has gone along, but, you know, he was playing with a different center, a different left guard. You know, Colt Miller was at his worst at the time. So I don't think they felt confident in putting, you know, AIDAN back there, not just because he doesn't move, but because as a young quarterback, he's more prone to mistakes, more likely to get blitzed, right? You're inviting the defense to kind of come at your weakness by putting a young quarterback out there. So I think, you know, that's why you ended up with Minshew. I think the offense fit what he is capable of better. You know, and for a couple games or a couple quarters or whatever, it looked pretty good, right? But yeah, it seemed like it was more scheme fit and offensive line play to me. But who knows?
Minshew's year did not carry over to this year because look at the quality of the team. Well, yeah, the quality of the team, and it's more so the coaching. Like, people don't understand like how bad our coaching is. I don't think people really get it. They don't understand. It's the little things that we lose games. Like, it's one thing to have an idea of what your team could do versus what your team actually is. And I get that you could even try to push them to be that. But the thing is, you got to really work with what you have, and you got to maximize on situations. I'm talking about every small situation. And it seems like every small situation, we don't capitalize there. We actually lose there. Like, I'll give an example. AP, we were down, and it was 4th down, and we needed a field goal and a touchdown. 4th down, trying to get the touchdown. And so I'm like, we already in field goal range. We need the 3 points. Kick the field goal now to save time on the clock. It was like 6 minutes left. So what did we do? Run a couple more plays, run 2 minutes off the clock, and did what? Kick the field goal.
Well, how about the not calling a timeout at the end of the first half and letting the time run, and then decide calling a timeout later after that? It's just like, and it's the same shit that he was doing at the end of last year. It's like he hasn't learned. It's one thing, you know, if you're making mistakes, but you're learning. But if you're doing the same thing over and over again, you ain't learning, dude. That's a problem.
At the end of the Chiefs game, everyone's talking about a bad snap or AIDAN calling up for the ball early. How about us running up and spiking the ball the play before, and then all of a sudden wanting to run a play where we waste time, which I've never even heard of before, where the quarterback scrambles around for a while and throws it away? Like, it's not even a play. That's not a thing. That is not a thing.
Right. I see you, Michael, man. Yeah, like, and how long is this learning curve is going to be for AOC? And like I said, we've already kicked 4 tires this season, and he haven't won no games. And we're excited as a fan base talking about how he's the guy, and he's 5-9 as a starter, man. Like, we scored 13 points. The 300-yard game, y'all talking about the 340, we only score what? 18 what? We not scoring 25 points. Usually it used to be 21 points, then you could kind of win a game. Now it's more like 24, 28 points. We got half of those points.
Exactly. Our defense, have a good defense too. If you're gonna win at 24 points.
Yeah, exactly.
If you got a bad defense, you need 35.
And granted, our defense got jumped on this game early. This game could have got ugly, and we could have got blown out, and we locked in. And so the defense really did hold, and we just couldn't get nothing going. And when AOC was playing, especially the first time he got hurt, so what did we do? We ran the hell out of your boy, and he was eating though. And then the first time he threw the ball, interception. You saw it coming. You seen it coming. We kept running the ball effectively, I might add. But you seen the interception coming, and so it came. And then so he out there playing hurt. I'm like, man, that's another reason why we should have kicked the field goal. It would have gave AOC time to come to the bench, and then y'all can give him whatever treatment y'all need and come out for another drive. But we kept trying to push the issue. And so then eventually he gets hurt on something as simple as getting pushed. He don't even know how to fall. The boy fell on the same knee again, like fragile.
Fragilio.
The coordination with his legs, his feet. That boy probably can't dance a lick.
He said Minshew wouldn't have had a game like LC against the Chiefs. We probably would have if AOC gave us a chance to win, pretty sure Minshew would have gave us a chance with the defense playing the way it did. I know Minshew wouldn't have fumbled this. I don't think he would have fumbled the snap. I think he would have been more cogent in that situation than AP running down the field.
So you think having a veteran quarterback who remembers to not snap the ball before he checks his receivers could be important? Interesting.
I absolutely do.
I still love us running up to spike the ball to play before. That's awesome. Hurry up.
So here's a quick question.
Bounds. Why didn't the guy just run out of bounds? That's the other question. Man.
Because he probably was under the impression that we wanted to run some clock. And then we were like, no, spike it. No, we want to run clock. I was joking. So.
These guys are retarded. We got a retarded coaching staff, yo. That's what it is. That's the majority of it is we got a retarded ass coaching staff.
Pretty much, yeah. Mm-hmm. So
he said the yellow bus of the coaching staff of the NFL, bro.
Minshew would have threw 3 picks. Like all our quarterbacks turn over the ball at the same ratio, like for real. Mm-hmm. Like even when you put your boy in there, Ritter, he be in there 10 minutes. He gonna give a turnover. He gonna get sacked twice.
Ritter has 18 fumbles in 22 career games.
Oh wow! No, I feel you.
That's their car numbers.
So here go my up gang right here. Macho Man Randy Average got the best name on YouTube. I'm telling you.
I love it.
You said, how you Yings doing? Do you think Tom Brady's gonna be able to do with the team? Do you think he's gonna have a say when it comes to getting a new quarterback?
Yeah, Mark Davis said it clearly that he will have a say. It was the first thing he said about him as he brought him in. I think that he's the football guy that Mark has been looking for years. And you're going to see that transition to where you hear less and less about Mark unless it has to do with, the corporate side and stuff like that. And you're going to hear more and more about, Brady and his thoughts along with the rest of whoever's staff and the GM, that sort of thing. I look at him as a de facto head of football operations. So what you're going to see.
I forgot what I was going to say.
That's the GM. He the GM.
Well, so what? So I remember. So do you think now that Tom Brady's going to have a say, do you think the say is going to be Shedeur Sanders? Do you think that's going to be the say?
Yeah, I'd be surprised if he was on the board and we didn't take him. I think we have the first pick, so that tells you what I think is going to happen there. Yeah, he's worked with him since he was in high school, and so he knows what he's getting there. If he felt like he was a waste of time, he wouldn't still be working with him. So Brady likes to win. He's going to pick winners.
So this is like I was saying, we can roll back to the beginning of the season. So this is why I think this whole thing was planned. from the gate.
Okay, so and we're gonna talk about that later about AP being scapegoated, because what did he really get scapegoated for this? And we're gonna talk about that too.
Yeah, so this is the other thing is that now AP is going. They guaranteed him this year. They're not holding him any accountability. But next year, if it's looking like this, he's probably going to have. He's not going to last. Like if he goes, we have this historical losing streak like we're having now. Because I like I said, he just strolls. He doesn't look like he's even cares if he loses his job right now. He doesn't have a care in the world. That's not a guy to me who's worried about losing his job when you've lost 8 in a row or whatever we've lost in a row.
No, that to me, it could be a guy who knows he's already lost his job.
Could be that too, right?
Even fancy free.
So AOC got a bruised knee because he got pushed in the back, and the refs didn't call it roughing. I totally agree with you. I totally 100% agree with you. They should have called it.
Yeah,
they should have. Just like last night, though, the face mask on Joe Burrow they didn't call, but somehow the game gods it plays out, and they still end up winning the game, right? So as a player, you get calls missed, right? And you do little stuff like that because you already know the boy gimpy. So I get it, right? It's just part of the game. What I'm saying is, if your quarterback supposed to be one of the toughest people on your offense, at least, if not on your team, right, and then you can't get carted off for a knee bruise, and because you got pushed, like that don't look good to me. Like that's just me. But I'm not saying that they shouldn't have called it, but yeah, they definitely should have called it.
There was a slight injury even before that happened to AOC. Blessings to everybody. There was a slight injury to AOC before that. That maybe triggered that situation. I don't completely blame AOC for the injury. I think if anybody got pushed in the back and didn't know it was coming, you're not really concerned on where you land, or how you land. You just trying to land. It's, it's one thing if you know it's coming, like if you know it's coming, it's like, okay, I know I can roll with this, or I know how to, get out of this. But in that situation where he's running away and he can't really see, that person is going to, after he's thrown the ball, that the guy's going to do that to him. I can't really blame him for landing on that same knee. It just happens to be an unfortunate situation.
Was unfortunate. For sure.
That boy was running for his life. He knew somebody was behind him. I agree. He might have let up after he took like 2 steps because you don't expect somebody to hit you. But if you get pushed and you already kind of injured, your instincts better kick in, or coordination better kick in to tuck and roll, not fall on the same knee that you just injured like 7 plays before after they've been running it all the time or whatever, however it played out. All I'm saying is the boy get hurt on little weird stuff. Got your thumb broke on throwing the ball. You get it carting off because your knee. Like, God forbid he actually really get blasted because he did take a couple hits, in the game. So I'm just saying he's not the QB1 of this team. And I don't understand why so many people and so much love for AOC, and it's delusion out there because I'm still seeing people say, oh, he gives us the best chance to win. Oh, I hope he does come back. It's just a bruised knee. And I'm like, what are y'all seeing in AOC? I want someone to tell me.
Go ahead. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of kind of nostalgia for the little period last year where we looked like we could do something, right? Our defense was really good. AOC was managing games. We had a little 500 stretch, which is better than 2-11 or where we are now. So I think there's some of just giving him credit for being a starting quarterback, and he was a rookie. So there's potential there, right? A lot of potential to grow. You know, it was only 10 games, but so I think a lot of people looked at that and said, you know, let's extrapolate. What happens if he gets a better offensive system and a whole off season, and you know, things are kind of more designed around him. We didn't get the designed around him part initially, but I mean, you couldn't ask for a more AOC friendly offense than Norv Turner's, right? Check Kerry Collins went nuts in this offense. Kerry Collins. Okay. So built for a quarterback like him. And we got to see it, and not so much. So yeah. And that's okay.
I think, you know, in totality of the situation, I think, you know, some people still may feel that AOC is, when you look at our QB room, some people still feel that AOC is the best quarterback in our room. So, you know, they may be going for that, saying, hey, he's the best one in the room. And like, even when Minshew was, you know, at starter, you know, there was people that were still feeling like AOC was the better quarterback, and, you know, decision making or whatever from that situation. But yeah, I think that might be the like, to Black's answer. I think it's just people may feel that, you know, AOC was the better quarterback in that room. Not saying that, you know, we got a real good quarterback room, but, you know, when you think about the best out of that room, some people felt it was AOC.
Yeah, that's the problem. People feeling like that. Like,
so out of the room, I'm sorry to cut you off, but out of that room, you felt somebody else was the best in that room?
Yeah, Minshew was clearly the better quarterback to me. And so here's a comment that says AOC doesn't get scared. Minshew does. That's the difference. Okay, so this is what I have to say to that. AOC is a sitting target back there. That's why he be getting hurt. That's why I keep saying, I'll bet any of you guys an eighth to a zip that 3 full games, he's not going to make it. He's going to get hurt. I've said that the first time he got hurt when he came in. I don't care if he started game 1, game 4, game 14. The boy, he can't get away. Now, he's tall enough to stand there and take the hits, right? But he's not built like that. That's just his DNA. Now, Minshew, he's smaller. He's going to get up out of there. And the reason why he got hurt was because his own volition, because he held the ball too long. And he got landed on, just like Rich Gannon got injured by Saragusa. Remember? In the championship game that blew our chances of going to the Super Bowl that year.
Saragusa purposely belly flopped on him. While he was already on the ground, so it's a little different.
I mean, when I say that, I mean similar. I don't mean it intent and all that, but I'm just saying, like, how you can get injured by a lineman landing on you. That's what I mean. And so that's what essentially happened right there.
On purpose.
Like, Minshew, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's a world beater, but what I'm saying is it ain't no this. I don't know what y'all seeing. It ain't no this, because the boy is at least competent enough to win what we have. Now, AOC had the new coordinator. He didn't have to deal with Zeus and Getsy and all that stuff.
Had the better line.
And he still won 2 games. AOC, he's not going to win 2 games. I'm sorry. And he has the better situation. He got the better running back out of the whole room. Like, we had a bunch of backups at running back, like with Minshew. Like, all the excuses that y'all use for Minshew being garbage, AOC got the upper hand, but the results aren't there. Make it make sense to me. Make it make sense. I thought we were talking about wins. It's not translating.
So, like, I see in the chat people talking about Minshew plays scared. And I'm like, have you watched him besides when he was behind the horrible offensive line with a coach that didn't believe in him. Because I think after his benching, he looked different. Absolutely. Less confident. But I watched Minshew play a lot of years, but all the way back to Washington State. And I would not call him scared. That'd be not the way I would describe him playing. So, like, it's different to have a shot against your confidence. Maybe you're not taking the risks that you would normally take, blah, 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 blah. Or you kind of look down because your quarterback, your coach would pull you if you throw two picks. So, I think that's more.
And here's a good point by
John. Talking about
John.
him back in college because that's his personality.
Yeah, and here's a good point by John. He's not even really a second string quarterback. If you can't release the ball, especially on time, and then you got it, like I've been saying, it's not his on time plays, it's the off schedule plays that get him in trouble. And so consequently, he can't get up out of there. So he's going to get injured. You got to make a decision with the ball. I agree.
In the NFL, yes. He went to the Pro Bowl for almost taking the Colts to the playoffs last year. You should watch more Minshew games. Go watch him as a rookie and a second-year player for Jacksonville.
So. Well, that's why he's good with the North Turner offense, is because he's good with the run and shoot offense. That's that's what he had played in Washington. And exactly. I was talking about that earlier when we first brought him in. That was one of the things that I was excited about. But then we go out and we get Getsy, and that shot that all to shit because that ain't what he's good at. So, whatever. I mean, you have to bring in somebody who's going to utilize what he's good at, and that's even going to go with Shagor. If you don't bring in anybody who's good, then he's not going to be any good either. You got to be able to coach him.
I think the bigger issue is the solidifying the offensive line, because I don't care who's under center, that offensive line got to get better.
Absolutely.
And we don't need just one line of offensive linemen. You know what I'm saying? Some people are like, "Oh, our offensive line is good now," and we need to have a second line. You know what I'm saying, of players, because no matter what, we know that in the NFL that none of these players end up playing all 18 games, you know what I'm saying, or all 17 games, whatever, how many games they decide. It might be 24 in the next 2 years. So we got to have a situation where we have a rotation on top of rotation of players, and we're not there yet. So it sucks for both quarterbacks. It sucks for ALC and it sucks for Minshew. But yeah, I think the bottom line is really solidifying and fortifying that offensive line.
I think so too. I will say that, like, this is why you need your quarterback, right? Because if Shador is who we think he is, right? You look at him in college, his line isn't great. He doesn't care, right? He still makes plays. He escapes the rush and is decisive and makes plays down the field after being under pressure, right? So quarterbacks like that make up for a lot. You know what I mean? They paint over your inefficiencies and make you a better team than you should be. That's why they're so important. We keep having to earn every single thing we get, and every mistake we have to pay for. And that's because we don't have people to cover up for it. We don't have the players that make up for when you have an error and make it all go away, right? So we have to draft those players and draft better.
And I think that's been decades of situations. I think that's the reason why a lot of people, and it may not be people on this panel, but there was a lot of people that hated Derek Carr. And I think a lot of the heat that Derek Carr got was because we were expecting for him to be a savior in a situation where it was like, hey, if he throws that pick, it's like it's a huge thing that, oh dang, he threw that pick, we're about to lose this game, or you know what I'm saying. And we're running the same that with we ran with that with Jimmy Garoppolo. We ran with that, you know what I'm saying. I can keep going down all the way into the current quarterbacks. A lot of people hate Minshew because, you know what I'm saying, he averaged 2 turnovers at least a game, and here we go. and you can say that with AOC fumbling or whatever. So if we can get out of that, that's definitely a move forward for us. And for me, I think, that's why I picked Shador as the quarterback for this team, for what you said, you know what I'm saying? Dealing with the bad offensive line. He dealt with the bad offensive line and still was winning games. Not only was he dealing with a bad offensive line, but he was getting beat up and still getting off the ground and throwing the ball. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. I think, I said it on my live. I said, every time I watch a Colorado game, I almost think about it. I think about it as it being the Raiders. They got a bad offensive line, just like we got a bad offensive line. You know what I'm saying? They got some speedy wide receivers, you know what I'm saying, with Jimmy Horn. We got Trey Tucker. We got DJ Turner. And he's getting it done. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's why, and I know some people love Cam Ward, and I'm not mad at Cam Ward, but if you ask me specifically who's my guy, it's Shador for those reasons.
Yeah. The throws on the run are exceptional.
Yeah, so here's a comment from Macho Man Randy Average. I always say you got to win championships from the top down, not the player up. So he's curious to what do you guys think that we should do in the front office that we need to change up in order to go back to our winning ways, starting with this draft?
See, I feel like we did it last year. We hired a professional general manager who had been a general manager before this job for the first time ever. I want you guys to think about that. Ever. Because Al Davis was the de facto GM, right? And he didn't hire himself. He was already the owner. Everyone he ever hired and everyone Mark ever hired had never previously been a general manager when they took the job. Now, they may have been an assistant. They may have played one on TV, like Mayock, but they weren't actually a general manager. I think having a pro who is going to do the right thing in the draft, manage the cap, and keep us, moving in the right direction was the change we needed. I've been asking for it since I was a child. So we did that, give Telesco some time. And I think it'll change what happens, because I think we'll start to draft well. Telesco drafted well for the Chargers. The team's full and stocked with talent. The head coach may have flubbed away and they made Charger their way out of being good because they're the Chargers. And that's just what they do. But they had talent, right? So if we can have a similar kind of stock up of talent, because we hit on our first and second round picks and hit some middle round picks as well, then the whole narrative changes. Right? Everything is different.
Repeat the question again, Black. I'm sorry, my stuff was bugging.
No, just asking, what would you do from the front office aspect to make the changes that we need to make, including draft picks or whatever? What do we need to do in the front office to fix what we got going on?
Come on now. Yeah, I think it's I hate to piggyback on my brother over here, but I think we got it in place. I think we just gotta we gotta give it time, and that's unfortunately for some of us Raider fans, we ain't got time. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing I've heard so many times within the fandom of the Raider Nation. But we gotta give it time. Telesco gave us a good, a good draft where 5 out of the 7 were guys that actually got played on the field at some point. You know what I'm saying? Not saying, all of them end up being all-stars, but 5 out of the 7 of a draft is not that bad. You know what I'm saying? So, my saying, and I've been saying this all the time, no matter who's under center, we got to build. And I think with the plethora picks that, bullets that we have in this draft. You know what I'm saying? I keep playing with these mock drafts, even though I know that's not reality. But, there's been times where I've traded out of that one and almost doubled up. You know what I'm saying, in the draft, you know what I'm saying, taken from, other teams' picks and stuff like that. So it's going to be on Telesco, a veteran GM, to make those proper moves in those various places. We might need to draft another tight end and completely eliminate, paying tight ends, you know what I'm saying, and just have everybody on a rookie contract in that tight end room. And then we'll be set for 3 or 4 years, you know what I'm saying, under a cheap contract. So there's a lot of things that can be played with, but I think we have the right pieces. We just gotta let them cook. Whether it's Telesco, and let me put respect on Champ Kelly while he's still in the room.
Okay, so what I want to do is I want to flush the whole toilet. I want to bring in Ben Johnson. If we got the number 1 pick overall, he'll probably want to come here, because I don't trust this yellow bus coaching staff to coach up any talent quarterback wise at all. And then I try and go get Robert Saleh for the defensive coordinator job, and then I just start rebuilding. That's all you. That's what I see that we need to do. That's what I would do.
Interesting. Yeah, John makes a good point. He says no matter who we pick, he feel like we need a bridge quarterback. I don't want to throw our rookie out there. If you have especially a coach that's on a 1-year prove it deal. And I'm with you. I think Minshew is that quarterback.
He's here next year.
People say that Minshew had time. Like the first time he threw 2 interceptions, AP started pulling his chain. Like as soon as he did that, pulled his chain right out the yard. And then you went to AOC and he messed up the church's money. Then you throw Minshew back out there, and then he make a mistake. Then y'all want to holler AOC in, and then when he finally come back, he get cracked again. Like, come on, what are y'all looking at?
I think there's one thing. Like as we move forward in the season, I'm watching where we land as far as do we obtain the number 1 pick, and then also like who's number 2 and number 3, because it can get interesting, right? If you have, the Giants there at 2, and a team that doesn't need a quarterback at 3, it's possible we trade back to 3, and let Dion and Shador do their "I'm not going to the Giants" thing. And we end up with our guy at 3 and some extra for that. You know what I mean? So it'll be interesting if we're able to kind of pull that kind of crafty stuff off. And that's what you get when you have a pro GM, right?
So the reason why I think people love AOC so much is kind of like this. If you grew up in a home where you just ain't seen your dad in hella long, and then your mom bring dudes in and you be like, I want him to be my dad. Like as soon as you see something good, like a 300-yard game where he took me to Chuck E. Cheese, I want that to be my dad. I mean, like, you don't really see the qualities in the guy. Y'all out there just grabbing that stuff. So y'all need to stop that, man. Like, for real. Like, AOC is not that guy. He is not that guy. And he's showing y'all he ain't that guy, but y'all acting oblivious to it. Like, he's been playing. He played last year. Y'all looking at last year, hoping that he's going to be that this year. But this year, he showed you that he's injury prone and he can't get up out of there. Because once the NFL get tape on you, especially your offseason tape, then you're not going to be able to do what you did to survive last season. And I'm with John when he says, I want to see what Bradley and whatever other quarterback, that person that think they can play quarterback, I want you to come in and play too, because at this point, we better not start trying to win games. I want AOC to try to win games because people were saying this was an audition for him. Like, let's let these 5 games be an audition. He didn't have Minshew behind him, breathing down his neck. You got your happy quarterback, coach smiling and profiling for you like we didn't won games. And then you go out there with nobody behind you and you get carted off. Woo. First game. So, like, I don't know what y'all looking at or what y'all not looking at, but y'all need to start seeing something. And with that said, I came up with some things that I think that Raider fans should stop saying. I made a list of these things.
Oh no.
Things that Raider fans should stop saying. Let me get to the comment first before I get into it.
Diamonds are forever, and so are the Raiders.
He said y'all got daddy issues.
None of them fools are that guy. Yeah, maybe y'all. And he said, and Minshew was that guy. Versus who? Versus who? Versus who? Like, if you're gonna take out him, who are you gonna put there? AOC?
Yeah. Who said he was the
Ain't
guy?
that what y'all been doing?
Who said he
like, who you gonna put there?
Than AOC.
But I do want to check out Bradley.
Yeah,
I think Carter Bradley. He's got a better arm than AOC, and but I think that
give him a chance to get broke up too.
I'd like to see
give him a chance to earn his check.
Yeah, I agree. If let him step up. Let's see what he's. Why not?
Yeah.
All the quarterbacks are hurt. Ritter's going to probably get hurt this Sunday anyway.
Right, exactly. Thank you. Finally, somebody understand what I've been saying. And it's like y'all don't. None of these quarterbacks gonna survive 3 games, man, at a time. Minshew could survive 3 games. He can. Now, that's why I say give us the best chance to win, because the best ability is what? Availability.
Yeah.
So here's some things I think Raider fans need to stop saying, and y'all can add to this list if it ain't on here. Number 1, let's see what he got. Man, they've been saying this about Antonio Pierce, O'Connell. They're going to say the same thing about McCormick next year. Like, they're going to say the same thing, like, because it goes back to what I said. Is that my daddy? Is my daddy? Like, you want to see what he got? Like, come on. Like, we know what these guys got. McCormick, not so much. That means he earned his way to a roster spot the way he played. That don't mean he need to be talking about starting and all that other stuff like y'all like to do. They like to, in fact, inflate a player better than he is. Like, I don't understand how anybody could have thought Garoppolo was going to be any good. Like, I don't understand that. And I don't understand how anybody thought AOC is that guy. Like, I don't get it. So one thing y'all need to stop saying is, I want to see what he got. Like, stop saying that.
Pause.
Yeah, pause. 2, stop saying AP needs an offseason. We know who these people are, man. We know who AP is. We know his deficiencies as a coach. Like, everybody's saying now, give him this offseason because there was so much going on this season. Like, we know who AP is. I know who he is. Why y'all don't know who AP is? Do y'all not know who AP is? Maybe let me stop. Do y'all not know who AP is, Fizzle?
Yeah, he was the guy that went around and did all the podcasts and, Raiders and had everybody smoking cigars and stuff, just doing all kinds of, stuff that he shouldn't be doing. I don't know, telling everybody the game plan, and then, not being able to do anything about what he's really saying, just really talking out at the side of his neck, making us look like a circus.
You're like Thomas say, I know one thing. I'm sick of AP smiling at his pressers. What the fuck is so funny? He's getting paid. He's getting paid. That's what's so funny.
You gotta learn that stoic look and stop either smiling and laughing or throwing people under the bus. It can't be one extreme or the other. You gotta come right down the middle with the.
No, you're right. You're right. Minshew is not in right now because I said this before the season started. We're playing all of our quarterbacks, all of them. I said that before the season started. We're playing all of them. Minshew gives you a chance to play 6 to 8 games without getting hurt. AOC is not playing those 6 to 8 games without getting hurt. The boy didn't play 4 games and got hurt twice. Well, okay, he didn't start. He played some other games and didn't start. Let's add those up. So about 6 games he got hurt twice and missed weeks. So I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying he give us a better chance to win because availability is the best ability, and he knows how to read the defense better. He's just a better quarterback. Just experience alone.
Yeah.
All right, here's the third thing. Y'all need to stop saying we were losing because of Getsy. We haven't won a game yet with Turner, nor with O'Connell starting.
Nope.
So why is y'all still blaming Getsy and the coaching and all of the above? Like, stop blaming it on people.
It still gets his playbook, though.
No. Not really.
You think they brought in a whole new playbook and they learned a whole new playbook?
So listen, when you say it's Getsy's playbook, right? That's like if you have a dictionary, right?
No, I understand it's the West Coast offense.
It's still a dictionary. Like even the West Coast offense, like they have all like the plays aren't that different, right? We have power plays in there. So he concentrated on the power plays for his power, running. So he's running those plays. It's really about what you choose to call, like more than like your playbook, because like that's why people can go team to team or whatever. That like everybody has the same plays, man. It's football. At the end of the day, this is just football, right? So like, there's not that many ways to skin a cat, actually, right? And like it's
matchups for sure.
Yeah. So
that's how you skin a cat.
They say if you're saying like it's his playbook, I get it. Like some of that, to a large extent, it doesn't really matter whose playbook it is. It matters more about like what plays you choose to emphasize, and what part of the scheme you choose to emphasize. So yeah, I think his play calling stuff was interesting, to say the least.
Question.
Running it twice and throwing a screen pass, that's questionable.
Question.
You guys think that was AP being conservative?
I think somebody was fucking up somewhere along the line, and no matter who it is, somebody's gonna
right.
And AP ain't gonna take the responsibility. That's why Getsy's gone.
Even if it was AP being conservative, it's still up to the offensive coordinator to call something conservative out of that playbook. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think it was fully AP saying, "Hey, this is what you." It really still boils down to the offensive coordinator calling something out of the book. A head coach might say, "Hey, run the ball," but in the playbook, there's a whole bunch of ways you can run the ball. You know what I'm saying? So it's really on the coordinator to you know what I'm saying, to of course appease the head coach if that's the case, or But I still just feel it's the offensive coordinator. That's why I agree with what you were saying earlier. Like in the NFL, the playbooks across the NFL, they're all the same. You know what I'm saying? Run the ball up the A gap, run the ball, hit the B gap. You know what I'm saying? Like all of that stuff is generally the same. It's just how and when they call those certain things as an offensive coordinator. When they want to be aggressive. Most of the time, when a team picks off another team, you can almost guarantee that they're going to throw the ball. They're going to throw a deep ball on that next down. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much everybody does that. You know what I'm saying? So there's not too much when it comes to the offensive playbook. Just in general, everybody does the same thing.
Mm-hmm. You could say it was Getsy, but we were 2-7 under Getsy, and 0-4 under this new regime.
I'm not falling for the Turners. I mean, we haven't hit 20 points yet. I mean, that's my thing. Yeah, we hit 19, 18. Well, we ain't at 20.
That's my point. It feels better. Like medicine do taste better in the gummy form. I mean, like when you put it in a gummy form, it does taste better. But the thing about it is we haven't scored 21 points, like you said. Like, what are we talking about? Like, it does look better. It feels better. But here's a question, and I want to thank Raider Fuentes for hacking in. This is my question. I just want to make sure I'm not out of bounds. Who do you think reads defense is better, Gardner Minshew or Aiden O'Connell?
Is that for me?
All you guys.
Oh, Minshew, hands down. At this point,
just reading defenses.
Yeah.
What do you think is better?
Yeah, I think Minshew's probably better at that. He picked up the playbook faster. So if you're picking up the playbook and you're obviously able to, it's whether or not he wants to call an audible or not. Whether, that's what, I don't know if he doesn't want to call audibles or what he's been doing. I don't know.
He might not even got that leisure to do that.
That might be also true too.
Yep.
Yeah, because they wouldn't even let him wear his sandals in the building until like week 6. So
he said no sandals. No one likes their toes.
Yeah, remember, because AP was like, whatever you got to do. I got to get his voice. I ain't practice him. Whatever you have to do, you can wear your sandals, let your hair down, and then all of a sudden he got hurt. But here's another thing that Raider fans need to stop saying. AOC should have started from day one. Stop saying that. Stop saying that. Y'all act like it was going to be a night and day difference between what we've been seeing. Like, it probably would have been worse because we would have thought we had a running game and we didn't. And we would have thought we had a wide receiver when we didn't. We would have thought a lot of stuff when we did. We would have thought we had a number 5 defense when we didn't.
Yeah.
And then he would have got hurt. So stop saying that. What y'all think about that?
Yeah, I think he would have lasted like a game or two, and he would have been very, very, especially in the beginning because Colton Miller was giving up 2 sacks a game from the blind side. He would have gotten crushed. Not even a doubt in my mind. He may not even have made it after game 1, to be honest, because like you said, there's no run game. When you're down, you got to throw the ball.
Yeah, he didn't fit the offense. Our offensive line was bad. It would have been a bad move to start him. I did not want him playing yet. Like, he is still a young quarterback, and we had an opportunity to preserve his confidence and his ability to, grow as a player. I think we've done him a disservice this year. I think that we put him in a position where he's had to pick up bad habits. I think he had to pick up bad habits playing last year. Just because a guy can play doesn't mean that he should play, right? If we really did respect his ability to develop, we did everything wrong. Everything wrong. So, no, he shouldn't have started from the beginning of the year. He needed to develop, just like Shador, hopefully won't have to start immediately, and we can put somebody else out there, right? And let all the stuff that we don't know get shook out first, which is what the idea was, right? So I don't know, man. I think that's just like trying to, place blame or, make somebody a hero because it's just simple. But it ain't simple. If it was simple, we'd already be, out of this, right? We wouldn't be in it for 30 years, bro. It ain't simple.
Yeah, easy and simple are 2 different things.
Mm-hmm.
Raider Twine, you think that AOC should have started from game 1?
No. And the reason why is because our offensive line wasn't solidified. I think the best option for us at that point was, Minshew because of his mobility. Not saying he has great mobility, but he has more mobility than AOC. So I think that was the better move early in the season because our offensive line was still a question mark, and it to me is still a question mark to this point. But if you ask me personally, who I thought was the better quarterback, I think it is AOC. But in the situations that we have, you're gonna need a quarterback that's gonna have to run for his life, and then choose that guy.
From the experts offline, we gonna see if it. Fair enough. Fair enough. So, put down in the chat, why do y'all think that AOC should have started game one? Because I don't see it. And a lot of people think that AOC is the better quarterback. I don't see that either, respectfully. But it is what it is. So, as long as the boy goes, the coach goes too. So, let's talk about your boy AP as we talk about this last topic before we get up out of here. Scapegoat is an appropriate word because I think we seen Richard Sherman came out this week, and he was talking about how the Raiders are doing AP. So I'm curious of what you guys think about that. And being that, there's reports of Coach Prime starting to swirl around the Raider job, do you think that he really got scapegoated? Let's see what your boy Richard Sherman had to say.
They set him up for failure. And if you fire him, it's such BS because you didn't give him a good enough team to do anything more than what they're doing. They had Devontae for a little while. They traded him away. You let Josh Jacobs go. And so you knew that this wasn't going to be an attractive job last offseason. So did you just give it to Antonio Pierce so that he could bite the bullet this season just to fire him until it was a more attractive position when you have a high draft pick? You set the man up for failure, expected him to fail, fired him for failing with no chance. And if they do that, I'd be so pissed off because that's total BS.
Thoughts?
Well, it can't be that he's not even qualified for the job or anything. It's not that, he's not making any, rookie mistakes still. It's not like, he's not throwing everybody and the players under the bus. Right. I don't know. There's just a lot of things for me that, like I said, he hasn't learned from a lot of stuff that he was doing last year, which to me is a problem because if you're not learning from your mistakes, why do you got all these other coaches? Like, they're supposed to be coming over here and advising you. I don't see them advising them on anything. I just see everybody got their hands out and having a nice Christmas. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what. And the players, how are the players going to respect you if you got a bunch of old head coaches standing around and you're going to them for advice? Why wouldn't they just want to listen to them? I mean, these are just, it's like, it's just not a good look, in my opinion.
I would argue AP coached better last year than this year.
Well, I think the players wanted him to get the job is the difference, bro. He got the job. Now they don't care. And there it shows. That's exactly what happened. They got their friend the job. They wanted their friend to get the job. They got their friend the job. And then now, where's the energy? I was talking about this all off season. Where's the energy going to be? When's the honeymoon over? The honeymoon was over in preseason, the first preseason game when they couldn't even stop the run. I mean, straight up. We haven't played like a top 5 defense at all this year.
And why haven't we played like a top 5 defense, Pizzle?
Because the energy is gone. The honeymoon's over, bro. He got the job. They got what they wanted. They're not putting the effort out. I don't think they're putting the effort out that they were putting out. It's not that the energy isn't flowing like it was last year. I don't know why it's not, but that's what's not happening.
It's like that because, like I was saying, as the team goes, AP goes. He's too emotional. They play up here and then they play down there. They play up here, but being that we doing like this, that's how the team is going. We're going down. We get the 300-yard game, little bump. Almost beat the Chiefs, little bump, but we're going down. Like, so the team is playing like that, and that's because the head coach is like that. And that's why I say he not being scapegoated. Now, if they did come up with this plan like this, I would probably be surprised because the Raiders usually don't think this far ahead. And then I would have to say this is a Tom Brady thing, right? So if that's what y'all saying, then to me, I'm going to put this on a Tom Brady thing. But other than that, I don't think he's being scapegoated. I think he's coached his way into this position, because had the Raiders been competitive, then you can't even have this conversation.
Yeah, no, like people talk about injuries, and I understand that, right? But like, it's not just about what happened with the roster and injuries, and whether not even so much wins and losses. I know that matters a ton, but like how you lose and why you lose is a huge part of like whether you keep a coach or not, right? Like we can start with week 1, 16-10, fourth quarter, 4th and 1, Chargers 43-yard line, we punt. After earlier going for it from our own 40 and giving them a free field goal. It started right there, right? And then it just continued with these like bonehead decisions where you're like, what is going on? Like, why didn't we challenge the touchdown in the Pittsburgh game, right? McCormick looked like he scored on that play. Just kind of let that go. Why do we hire an offensive coordinator that doesn't fit the philosophy of either the running back or quarterback that he seems to love? Neither one of those guys fit into the system that he hired the coordinator from. You know, the bad communication in the Kansas City game. Like, there's so many instances of, well, it's not just that we lost. It's that he has mismanaged the team, right? He's liking tweets where players are you know, speculated to be traded. He's, you know, throwing the whole team under the bus on national TV. Like, those are not just, you know, injuries. Okay, none of those have anything to do with injuries. So that's why it's different to me. Like, and I can keep going. So
You got a better memory than I do.
I mean, in the 4th down stuff against Tampa Bay last week. Come on, man. Like,
Raider Twine.
You know what? I don't believe he got scapegoated. I think it's an unfortunate situation with him. You know, injuries do play a factor. You know what I'm saying? You have a rookie. You have. I've said this plenty of times, and it just seems to keep ringing as real for me. Is we're young in all the wrong places, including, you know, coaching. You know, Antonio Pierce is a rookie. You know, this is technically his first year as being a head coach. So there's going to be things that he's going to have to learn. He's taking his lumps while some of the rookies on the field are taking their lumps. And I don't believe it's a scheme or anything like we're plotting to, you know, get rid of him or anything like that. I think it's just the reality of where we are. I think that's the negative and the positive of our team in its totality, is that we are young. You know what I'm saying? It sucks right now because we're taking the lumps of young, you know, young rookies and second year players. But, you know, eventually that if we keep these rookies together, they'll eventually, you know, be something down the line. You know, it reminds me of the Seahawks. You know, the Seahawks when they drafted Cam Chancellor and, you know, Richard Sherman and all those guys, the Legion of Boom. They were all young guys at one point, but then when they grew together and they got together, they became something special. So, you know, if we can be able to do that and stack on top of that, I think the future, you know, as dark as it may be now, I think the future is still somewhat bright. That might just be the optimistic side of me. You know, some people might just say we're in the shithole and that's where we're, you know, going to be and whatever. But I think that's the brighter side of things.
I agree with a great percentage of what you're saying, other than the AP factor. Like those rookie coaching mistakes that he making, those lumps, the lumps that he's taking, I don't expect you to come into the game like that. Like, and that's only simply because he's never been a head coach. He got promoted very fast. And then we complain about black coaches not getting chances too. So he did get a chance, right? So then you get a chance and to say, oh, now they're setting him up. Now that's what happens is now they're going to be like, well, we don't want to do that because now they're going to say it's a racial thing, you know? So I just think AP played himself into this situation because of the lumps that he's taking. And you got all these advisors, like you said, you got these old heads in the building. What are they doing? Like the only old head that I feel like is paying off is the one they just brought in, Norv Turner.
Yeah, all the other ones are collecting the check.
I think Philbin's doing all right, but you know, that's still he came into a mess, you know what I'm saying? He's dealing with the offensive line, you know, so yeah. I get it though, and I'm still wondering what like you said, what are the older heads? What percentage of involvement do they have? You know what I'm saying? Are they able to say, hey, you know, this is what I think, or are they just kind of like, I'm waiting for you, head coach, or I'm waiting for these guys in the position to ask me, and then I'm able to share my thoughts on that. I wish I was a fly on the wall just for that specific reason, just to see their involvement of what they're doing on a, you know, day-to-day basis.
Well, one thing I do know is we're exciting off the field. We can be exciting on the field sometimes too. So there's going to be a lot going on between here and training camp, and even into the next coming season. So I guess that's what we have to look forward to, is that kind of information. And we have the number 1 pick right now. So I'm going to ask you guys in closing, if you were the GM, no, if I was Mark Davis, we have the number 1 pick. And with the number 1 pick, the Raiders choose
Shedeur Sanders, quarterback, Colorado.
Yeah, I'd probably have to agree with him. It's probably going to have to be Shedeur. I don't know. Other than that, it might be the other guy that's on the team, that the corner who plays corner and then special teams.
Hunter.
Yeah, Hunter. But
he doesn't play special teams.
But yeah, but
Jalen Milroe. No, I'm just playing. Nah. Hey, I just wanted to change up the flavor, man. It seemed like everybody was going with the same one, and like I said earlier, I'm going Shedeur. I'm going Shedeur.
That's how you rate it right there.
He's gonna do great in the combine. So you know we love those fast, speedy guys, right?
Yeah, he's got a big arm, but he's smart too. He's got a master's degree and all that, but his football IQ he makes bad decisions. He reminds me of a Derek Carr. He just makes bad decisions with the ball. He's fast, but he's not going to be able to run. He's not going to last in the NFL doing what he's doing in college. Ask Cam Newton.
Got to win from the pocket.
Yeah, he's got to learn how to throw. Lamar Jackson's doing pretty good, but at the end of the day, they're doing the same thing to him. Beat us throwing. If you can't beat us throwing, you're not going to win the game. And that's what people do. So you got to learn how to throw first. Run second.
A little late for that. Yeah.
Yeah, well, but I do like it. He does have an arm. I mean, Milroe will bomb it for sure.
Yeah,
He's definitely accurate deep, but he's just got that, in between the linebacker and the safety. He can't hit that for some reason. He's just like, I don't know. He's just got a problem with that one, with that. But that's just whatever.
Like throwing the football is a talent. It's not like everybody can do it. Yeah.
Oh, I agree. Not everybody's going to be Pat or Burrow or everybody's got to be them.
And we can't play Madden.
Yeah, well, Madden makes everybody good. You bring up your own. You get to draft your own quarterback.
I'm just saying because I think that's the infatuation of some of the quarterbacks that people are falling in love with. They think they can just plug them in like Madden and it's just going to be a beautiful thing. Jalen Milroe is going to be lovely on Madden, but that ain't going to work in the NFL.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I think. Look, I'm a huge fan of Alabama, right? I watch, but I'm dumbfounded right now. We lost 3 games this season because of him. Straight up.
Yeah, it's like quarterbacks have to be able to like throw the football accurately or something.
Yeah, he just can't. He can't get it done. He can't get it done thrown. He lit up LSU, right? Ran 4 touchdowns, but that's you can't throw the ball, bro. You need to throw for 4.
If you plan on bringing back the wing T, he's perfect. He's draft him and do that. That's the plan, but probably not.
Or you running the veer?
The veer.
Yeah, well, but
I don't know about that.
I don't
Jimmy
trust
McMahon special.
Yeah, I don't trust this team's coaching staff to develop him. That's the problem. We got to get somebody who's good enough to develop him.
No, my friend. No developing with these guys. We need a new setup for that. Or you could just pick a coach that like already knows him really well and has already been developing him.
I really wish that Deion could get involved even more. And the reason why I say that is if Deion, and I don't think anybody have thought about this or said this, but if Deion was like, I only want Shedeur to go to the Raiders, and like he's telling all the other teams no, and we can get Ashton Genty, trade down, get Ashton Genty, and then, trade back up into the first round and go get Shedeur, like that would be lovely.
That would be Madden-esque.
Or or even Travis, if you decide, hey, we getting Travis, and then then Deion's telling all the other teams only the Raiders. He's not, my son's not going to show up to your facilities. Saying? So
you guys know how we do it.
Where we trade up in the first round because we're the first pick in the second round, so we could trade back up in the first and give him that 5th-year option.
Even better.
I've heard of a scenario where they're talking about drafting Shedeur and then Travis Hunter holding out, and then after everything settles after the draft, they'll pull him in because as an uneligible because the Raiders get the first pick at the ineligible
supplemental draft,
and then pull Hunter in that way. So I heard
Hunter
that
decides to stay in for the real draft, and then there for the supplemental draft, which we would have the first pick in, right of refusal for any player, and it'd be giving up our 2016 first round pick to get Travis Hunter.
So I heard them. I saw the Sander boys with Travis talk about we all could end up at the Raiders. They all can end up with the Raiders. Y'all don't. I didn't know how they was gonna do it, but the way y'all just explained it, I'm gonna tell Travis to hold out. Travis, they got the #1 pick in the supplemental draft. Like, God darn it, you ain't gotta go nowhere. You can come back. Tell them you come back to Colorado with me if you have to, but you go. Exactly. So I like that, right? So so that changes my thought because if you guys were the GM, and I mean if you guys were Mark Davis, and my pick, I would say grab Travis Hunter and somehow see if we can trade back in the first and see if we can get Genty for some kind of way. But being what y'all talking about right there, I kind of like y'all idea.
And even when he says the Sanders boys, you know what I'm saying, that one came out where Dion was like, get the Sanders boys, it's doable because it seems like Shiloh is going to be in the later rounds, you know what I'm saying, when he gets picked up. So there is definitely a good possibility that even if we didn't do like, my brother Hot Beaver over here said, it's we can get Shador in the first round, and then down the line go get Shiloh, because safety is another place where we need to really look at a safety, because I don't know if we want to bring Epps back. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if everybody feels comfortable with Powell Mao, you know what I'm saying, taking over that role with Merrick. We know Merrick is we like Merrick, and I think Merrick's a guy that's going to stay with us. We're going to have to pay him, of course, but we're going to need some safeties, because I don't know about Chris Smith. He hasn't came out and played much, and I don't see much flashing from him to say, hey, next man up in regards to that safety room. So Shiloh is definitely an option at safety.
Trey Taylor. We didn't get a chance to get a look at Trey Taylor, my boy.
Shout
out to Trey. Thank you for coming on the show when you did. But we didn't get a chance to see him because he was injured, and I haven't really had a chance to see him play since I think he was getting close to coming back or whatever. So a lot of question marks at safety, and as far as depth, players that we thought would be good but haven't shown a lot. It sounds like we need a veteran back there, though. So we'll see.
Yeah, for sure Shiloh's going to drop, right? He's probably not on people's radar like that, right? Mm-hmm. I don't even know how well he would fit with us, right? But if we are going to go get Travis and we going to go get Shador, you got to get Shiloh. Shiloh got to be a Raider. He's the natural Raider out of all of them anyway. Like, that boy always like the Raiders.
Yeah.
So we got to go get Shiloh. I mean, like, you never know what happened. If anything, is going to sell tickets back at the Allegiant Stadium, at least bring back the ball home court back to us at least. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not
ready. Just be ready. If we pull off this supplemental draft little scheme, they will cancel the supplemental draft the next year.
They can cancel it all they want to, because the Raiders only going to do this one time and one time only. That's it. You can cancel it all you want to.
We're going to ruin it for everyone else, like we always do.
Yeah. Right. I love it.
Me too.
So, any final thought? Go ahead.
No, it's all legal. There's nothing illegal here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Travis or Shador just be like, I'm going to come back. And then they're like, no, I changed my mind. I don't like my grades. I'm going to go in the supplemental draft.
Yep.
Yeah. I like that. I love it, actually.
So,
any final words? You got any final words, Raider Twan? Shout out your channel.
Yeah, man. I'm going to say my phrase that I said earlier. No matter who's under center, we got to build. You know what I'm saying? That's something we got to do on a yearly basis. Build. Hey, you guys. Hey, Raider Twan. Hey, thank you guys. Thank you, Black, for having me on. Raider Twan on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Shorts, lives, videos, all that good stuff on a weekly basis. I come to you, you know what I'm saying? All content creators, again, hit me up on IG if you want me to be a part of your show and be on your panel. I work with all content creators, so definitely if you want me to be a part of your show, definitely hit me up on IG. It's right there on the screen, Twan, TWUAN. That's how you can reach out to me on IG, and also you can catch me every once in a while on Twitter at that same Twan, TWUAN. Raider Twan on YouTube. Go ahead and join the congregation.
Say it again.
Final thoughts, brother.
Hey, go Raiders. Even though I expect us to not win any more games, it's always about going Raiders. So that's all I got to say, man.
Let's see.
He's got something written down.
Boy. Technical difficulties. I think we got the #1 pick. Let's keep it. Let's make smart decisions and not be emotional about shit. Right? Because like 2 years from now, nobody's gonna care. Right? If we go and make that coaching change or whatever. Right? You won't even remember the dude's name. So, you know, don't get caught up in recency bias. We need to build something solid and for real. So that may mean that people get fired. That's what happens when you're 2-11. So there you go.
Yeah, for sure. When you 2-11, things got to change. I think this is a pivotal time in the Raiders franchise. They put some pieces in place in the front office, which I think is pretty pivotal. Whether I agree with it or not, they have done that. And so now AP, I was an AP guy. I definitely wanted him to get his chance, but I just see too many deficiencies, and this is just not the guy for us. Along with AIDAN, we need to just go in and make a big move. And if we can pull off some moves in this draft, then now is the time to do it. If we're going to try to play the little bit longer game and try to get and see what we're working with and go through this one more year, I'm also kind of with that we want to draft back and go get a Genty. So I'm also with that. But I'm not with hearing this crying and sniveling and whining all year long about every time a quarterback do something and all this. It kind of reminds me of this.
Anchovies is coming. Board on the starboard. The anchovies are coming. The excuse makers are coming. Bar down the bridges. All you motherfuckers come out the motherfucking closet making all these goddamn excuses. Try to take y'all assholes somewhere, boy. I ain't trying to hear that shit.
I am not trying to hear that. I'm not trying to hear that all next year. So hope you have a Business Decision Sports. It's your boy, the 7-Boy Raider, boy Black, with Pizzle, High Beavers, Raider Hotspot, and Raider Twine. Thank y'all. Good night, and go Raiders.
Good night now.
I'm a Raider now.
Which team, by colors alone, is identifiable around the world?
The autumn wind is a Raider.
Which team, by slogan, commitment to excellence,
Pillaging just for fun.
just win, baby?
He'll knock you round,
All those things
then upside down,
are the Raiders.
and laugh when he's conquered and won.
When you have great coaches, then after you have great coaches, you get great players. You have a great organization, and you tell them one thing: just win.
He's blowing up. Raider.
Just win, baby.